this is Ananya and today's topic is on generators. Now, generators are considered a little advanced of a topic in Python and probably a little difficult for beginners. At some point of time, I too was a little like, no, let it be, I'll do generators later on. But you know what? Generators are not that difficult at all. It's rather pretty simple. And when you get a hang of it, you'd rather start enjoying it. So what are generators? Now generators make the work of iterators pretty simple and rather pretty elegant. Now what are iterators? Iterators are rather objects that can be iterated upon. For example, iterator objects such as lists, strings, dictionaries, tuples, we have used all of that, right? That's exactly where iterator objects come into play. So iterator objects compulsorily need to use two special methods, that is iter and next. Now this takes a lot of time, and when the list gets over, it raises the stop iteration exception. All of this work gets reduced when you use a generator. So let's look at practical examples of it and how a normal function is different from a generator function. Just a point to be noted, normal functions say return, generator functions say yield. Now let's actually implement it and check it out. Also, generators are your first step towards actually implementing data science concepts, such as dealing with large files and extracting lines or rows and columns and so on. We'll also be taking a small example on that after we finish the basics. So let's move ahead and start implementing generators and start loving them. Alright, so as I just mentioned, let's first have a look at the example of an iterator. Now, if you all can see, I have a list holding a couple of numbers, and in a variable, I have called the iter method and passed the list L to it. Okay, this is in case you do not know about what iterables or iterators are. So now what I'm doing is I will be iterating inside the list using the next method. So let me just quickly show you all the output so you all will understand better as to what is happening. See, so what the first method says here is the first print statement, that is print iterator. So it tells that it's an iterator object at a certain position. And next, when I say call the method next and pass iterator to it, it gives me the first variable of this list. Now, if I were to call it again, that is the next method again, let's see what it would give us. So you get 7. So this is how you iterate inside a list using the iter and next methods. Now, is there a better way through this? Well, that's why we are here, right? That's why we're learning generators. So what happens is, I'm going to take an example that prints the squares of only the even numbers. Now, how do we go about that? We could have simply said maybe give a list and within some certain range, and then if it is divisible by 2, then you return the number and you give the square and all of that. So I'm doing something pretty similar, but let's try out the difference between return and yield now. So what I have said is for num in even squares, okay, even squares is my function name. If the number is greater than 50, then stop, otherwise print it, alright? So inside my main function, I declare I as 1. And inside an infinite loop, I say that if I mod 2 is equal to 0, then yield I into I. Now let me currently remove yield and say return, okay? And now let us actually see the difference. I'll explain the rest of the code later on. First, let's see what return does. So you see what happens is you get an error saying the int object is not iterable. But now if I were to say yield, that is using the yield keyword, then you would see I am getting the answers. Now, let us have a quick run through the program so you can understand what exactly yield is doing. So let's take this first for loop. So for number in even squares, this num gets called into even squares. Now firstly, I is given the value 1. Next, the scope enters an infinite loop. It checks if I mod 2 is equal to 0. So for the first time, 1 is not, that is 1 mod 2 is not equal to 0. Hence it does not yield anything and it simply increments 1. Increments I. Now you have I is equal to 2. It again goes to the if condition, checks it. It is correct this time, okay, because it satisfies the condition. And now it comes to yield I into I. Now this will basically be 4. Now 4 is returned to num out here. Now num has the variable that is value 4. So if 4 is greater than 50, which is not true, and hence 4 is printed down here. Okay. Now the next time we are still actually inside this while loop at the back end and also inside the for loop. So next time after printing 4, it will come back at this position. That is, it will increment I here. It will not start from the beginning of the function again. So this is the importance of yield and the difference between yield and return. Execution starts from here. And another thing to remember is, in the case of yield, local variables values are not forgotten. So after printing 4, it comes here and the value of I gets incremented from 2 to 3. Okay, it does not forget the value of I. And then it continues again, the same way I just said. And at a point of time when it reaches 36, okay, it basically, after giving us 36, it becomes greater than 50 and hence it breaks outside the loop. So this was basically yield. Now 3 points we must remember. That is, we got to know the difference between return and yield. Yield is basically giving you outputs one by one and not all together like return. Next, it is a lazy evaluation. That is, it only executes when you want it to be executed, otherwise it does nothing. And it's very helpful in large data sets, okay? So it's very easy to communicate and give outputs one by one rather than giving everything together and making it less memory efficient. So yield again makes it less, or rather say more memory efficient, because it does not store everything all together. This being said, is there any other way to make it more simpler? Do you think that's possible? Well, there is. What you have to do is simply use generator expressions. Okay, I'm going to remove this, and generator expressions are exactly similar to, let's say, your list comprehensions or dictionary comprehensions. It's exactly like that. Only what you do is you put it inside simple parentheses rather than any square brackets. Let me quickly explain this to you. It's very easy really. I hope you all can see how generators are not that tough at all. So what I'm doing is, inside A, I am putting the same formula of a comprehension. Return num for num and even squares if number is less than 50. And print A. Now why I'm doing print A is I want to show you all that is actually a generator object, alright? And then to actually access the numbers stored inside it, you have to put it inside a for loop and print them. Now let's run this. Okay, you see you get the same output for 16 and 36, and as I said, you can also see that it is a generator object inside generator expression. Now let's come to the point of actually using it, or rather say including generators inside files. This will again be a little startup for you for file handling and let's say your first step towards data science. Is pretty small, but at least you're getting started, right? It's a little advanced but pretty simple. Now what I have done is, inside a text, okay, let me open up my text for you. I've just taken a random paragraph that I want to read line by line. Now it's a dot text, notepad sort of like text. what I have done is I have stored it inside my Sublime text folder. Okay, let me just show it to you and make sure it's saved there so that you do not have to explicitly give the path for it. It eases us the entire process. So this is my entire para that I want to print line by line. So, and it is saved inside the same directory as my .py file. So what I say is, to a variable data, I say read data using the method read data test.text. And for I in data, I am saying print I. Now read data will basically be my function that I have defined here. And I am passing this text note to the variable path. Now with open path as f, open is another function that basically opens up your text file and gives it an alias name as f. Now for line in f, line will be each sentence in your text, okay, each single sentence. And then I say yield line, okay, so it takes this single line, puts it inside I, and then prints it. Okay, rather say it takes this line, puts it inside data, and after everything is stored inside data, it simply prints it. Now let's see if it's working. Okay, so you have your entire text out here. So you can read, write, and do anything. We'll be doing file handling also pretty soon. So we'll see all of that later. So you see, there are various use cases of generators. You can use it on files or maybe shorten your code, make it memory efficient and all of that. All right, I hope y'all are no more very upset and confused about generators. It's all clear now. Now next time we'll be meeting with decorators in Python. Till then, bye-bye.